Not too long ago, I received a question as to what the difference is between devils and tieflings. So this got me thinking I could make a brief video about the differences between devils, Cambions, and tieflings, since all these different races are somehow relevant to Baldur's Gate 3 to varying degrees. Tieflings are obviously a playable race, and they have been since 2nd edition Dungeons & Dragons. At base, a tiefling is a human who has lower planar ancestry, sometimes referred to as being plane-touched, in the sense that any being with extraplanar ancestry is plane-touched. This ancestry, however, usually is distant and almost never involves direct parentage. So an individual could be a tiefling whose grandparent was a devil, demon, or some other lower planar being, but not someone whose parent is a devil, demon, or lower planar being, barring some magical process. Sometimes lower planar ancestry can skip generations and therefore lie dormant, only to manifest at a later date. But as tieflings do manifest this ancestry, there are almost always going to be telltale signs of being plane-touched by the lower planes. A tail, glowing eyes, or even pitch-black eyes, horns, or even a strange, sulfurous odor. In terms of ancestry, although in the player's handbook only a few are listed, the truth is, tieflings can have a wide variety of ancestries, and by no means are these limited to archdevils as implied in the player's handbook. Tieflings can stem from any type of devil, demon, Yugoloth, a neutral evil fiend, as well as various other lower planar creatures, such as Rakshasas, which are fiends with animal features. And in some cases, it is possible for a tiefling to have distant ancestry in the form of an evil god, and that tiefling might even bear some mark or indication of their descent from said god. Now, despite this ancestry, tieflings are not universally evil. Although some of them might have inclinations to such, tieflings are basically usually to be taken as humans are, capable of doing both great good and great evil. A very different sort of creature is the Cambion, or half-fiend. Unlike tieflings, Cambions or half-fiends are the direct offspring of a fiend and a mortal. The fiend, again, does not necessarily have to be a devil. It can also be a demon, or another lower planar being, and when the one parent is a human woman, she will likely die in childbirth, bringing the half-fiend into this world. Whereas the infernal or demonic heritage of a tiefling may or may not be readily apparent upon first glance, the appearance of a Cambion is most definitely fiendish. Most Cambions have large leathery wings, horns, and can be easily recognized as devils or demons. They typically possess a host of abilities that are reminiscent of their infernal or abyssal nature, and to a much greater degree, the parentage of a Cambion can be of great importance both in terms of power and status. For example, a Cambion born of a lesser devil and a human will likely possess less power and status than that of a Cambion born of a greater devil, and likewise, than those whose parent is an archdevil. We can find a good example of this on the world of Orth, the original D&D campaign setting. And on this world, there is a demigod called Euz that began life as a Cambion, and whose father is Grazit, an infamous and powerful demon prince, and whose mother, Igwilv, is a powerful and infamous human archmage, and it's clear that Euz's parentage aided him immensely in his ascension to demigodhood. Had his parents, and in particular his father, been an average demon, this ascension would have been that much more unlikely. In Baldur's Gate 3, we already know of two Cambions. One is Raphael, who tempts us to bargain with him, claiming that he can remove your tadpole for the price of your soul. And the other is Mizora, the patron of Will, the warlock, who's an interesting case. I've argued in the past that a patron of a warlock is typically far more powerful than an average Cambion, and that is true. But it seems based upon data mined files that Mizora's father might actually be an archdevil, which would help explain her position as patron of Will, as well as some other things concerning her. Full-blown devils, in contrast to the other two, have neither mortal ancestry nor mortal parentage, and even so more rarely, infernal parents. They dwell in the layers of the Nine Hells, and in the context of the Nine Hells, devils are formed from the souls of deceased mortals who are lawful evil in life. Devils, being rigidly hierarchical, typically begin their lives as least devils, usually as disgusting blobs of flesh called lemurs, and ascend up the ranks one by one, to lesser devil and then greater devil. At the very top of the hierarchy are the archdevils, rulers of entire layers, all led by Asmodeus, the most powerful archdevil of all. Devils get promoted on the basis of their performance and adherence to the principles of law and evil, and sometimes demoted if they perform badly. And exceptions to this means of progress are exceedingly rare, given their rigid and lawful nature. Demons, on the other hand, are the chaotic evil counterparts of the devils, and they dwell in the infinite abyss and are born from the souls of chaotic evil mortals. Unlike the rigid caste system of the devils, there are no rules for ascension, and the hierarchy of the abyss barely exists, as there are no rules, and to the extent that demons do climb, it is based on power and treachery. It is random, though cunning and luck allow some demons to achieve greater and greater power, and unlike devils, in the chaotic abyss, even the lowliest of demons could at least potentially achieve greater power without having to go through the slog of promotion and demotion. Most demons begin as deformed creatures called manes, or dretches, and through the chaos of the abyss either ascend to greater demonic forms or are utterly destroyed. As always, thank you for tuning in. Please leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel, and I'll check you out next time. Take care.